The pharmaceutical industry doesn't want this conversation happening. Major wellness brands certainly aren't funding research into it. But Dr. James Whitemore, a physician with over 2 decades of experience in integrative medicine, is about to reveal something that could transform your mornings using nothing more than a tiny aromatic bud that probably costs you less than a dime and the coffee you're already drinking every single day. And chances are, you've been missing the most critical step that makes this work. It seems almost laughably simple. In fact, when Dr. Whitemore first discovered this combination in the research literature, he was skeptical. How could something this accessible, this inexpensive, this ordinary create the effects he was reading about? But then he started testing it with his patients. And then he tried it himself. And within 2 weeks, he couldn't deny what was happening. But let me walk you through exactly what begins happening in your cells within the first quarter hour after consuming correctly prepared coffee infused with this one spice. If you're past 60 and experiencing any of these, brain cloudiness that lingers until midday, uncomfortable stomach distension after eating, erratic glucose levels, subtle but persistent joint discomfort when you wake up, or exhaustion that persists no matter how many hours you've slept, then Dr. Whitemore's protocol might be the shift you've been searching for. And you can start tomorrow morning. Here's what most people fundamentally misunderstand about their daily coffee ritual. Coffee isn't merely a caffeine delivery system. It's actually one of the most concentrated sources of beneficial plant compounds in the typical Western diet, particularly a molecule called chlorogenic acid. This antioxidant protects your liver function, helps regulate glucose metabolism, and fights inflammation at the cellular level. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The spice we're talking about is clove. And clove contains more of a compound called eugenol than any other natural source on earth. Not even close. Eugenol functions as a natural anti-inflammatory agent that in certain research trials has demonstrated effects comparable to pharmaceutical pain relievers. Here's what makes this extraordinary. When chlorogenic acid meets eugenol in your system, they don't simply work side by side. They amplify each other exponentially. Think of it like this. You're not getting 1 plus 1 equals 2. You're getting 1 plus 1 equals 15. Nutritional scientists call this phenomenon bioactive synergy, and most people will walk right past it every morning for less than the cost of a parking meter. But before Dr. Whitemore shares his exact morning protocol, let's address a harsh reality. Most Americans are systematically destroying their coffee's health potential without realizing it. Adding sugar? You've just triggered an insulin surge and neutralized much of the antioxidant power. Think about it like this. You just poured liquid gold into your cup and then you threw sand into it. Pouring in dairy? The proteins bind to those precious polyphenols and make them unavailable for absorption. It's like wrapping your vitamins in plastic before swallowing them. Your body can see them, but it can't use them. Using instant crystals? The processing obliterates most of the beneficial compounds. That caramel macchiato with extra foam from the coffee chain? You've transformed one of nature's most potent beverages into what is essentially a milkshake that happens to contain caffeine. You're not fueling your body, you're confusing it. Dr. Whitemore sees this every single day in his practice. Patients spending $5 on a coffee drink that's actively working against their health goals. Now, let me describe what happens inside your system when you consume properly prepared coffee with clove, according to Dr. Whitemore's clinical observations. Within the first 15 minutes, you'll notice something unusual. Energy arrives, but without the racing heart, without that uncomfortable tightness behind your sternum that regular coffee often brings. That's because eugenol acts as a gentle relaxant on smooth muscle tissue, including your arterial walls. The caffeine delivers the alertness, the clove removes the edge. You get focus without frenzy. Within the first 24 hours, most people notice something remarkable happening with their digestion. Clove has well documented properties that reduce intestinal gas and bloating. Coffee naturally stimulates your digestive tract to move things along. When you combine them, your entire digestive system starts functioning more efficiently within that first day. Dr. Whitemore's patients consistently describe a sense of physical lightness they haven't experienced in years. Within 72 hours, something shifts in your blood sugar regulation. Chlorogenic acid actually slows down how quickly glucose enters your bloodstream from your intestines. Eugenol makes your cells more responsive to insulin signals. Those dramatic energy crashes where you're ravenous 60 minutes after a meal, they start evening out. But this is just the beginning of what Dr. Whitemore has observed. Before we continue, I need to ask you a quick favor. Over 99% of people watching right now haven't clicked subscribe. If this information is resonating with you, would you take just 3 seconds to subscribe and tap the like button? We're working to reach 100,000 subscribers before this month ends, and every single click genuinely helps us continue creating content like this. Thank you so much. Now let's keep going. Within 7 days, inflammation begins its quiet retreat. You won't see fireworks, but if your knees have been talking to you every morning, they start speaking more softly. If your hands have been chronically puffy, the swelling diminishes. If you've been moving like a rusty door hinge first thing in the morning, that stiffness duration shortens. This isn't mystical. This is measurable systemic inflammation declining, and blood work can confirm it. Within 30 days, your liver starts showing appreciation. Research demonstrates that regular coffee consumption correlates with reduced fatty liver disease and less scarring. Eugenol multiplies this benefit by protecting liver cells from oxidative damage. Dr. Whitemore has seen liver enzyme markers improve in his patients. Your complexion may clear up because when your liver detoxifies more effectively, fewer toxins attempt to exit through your skin. People report looking more vibrant after just 1 month. Within 90 days, you may witness a complete systemic reset. Excess weight might begin releasing. Coffee increases thermogenesis, your body's calorie burning process, and better insulin function means less energy gets stored as fat. Mental clarity sharpens, your energy stabilizes instead of spiking and crashing. All of this transformation from adding one small spice to the coffee you're drinking anyway. Now, here's Dr. Whitemore's exact protocol because 90% of people who attempt this make at least one of 3 critical errors and experience almost nothing. The proper method is called decoction. Here's how it works. Take 3 whole cloves, not pre-ground powder, not crushed, whole dried cloves from your supermarket spice section. They should look like tiny brown nails with a rounded top. Place them in a small saucepan with 10 ounces of water, roughly a cup and a half. Bring this to a full boil, then immediately reduce to a gentle simmer for exactly 5 minutes, not longer. Excessive heat begins degrading the eugenol. You want to see small bubbles rising, not a rolling boil. Strain out the cloves, discard them. They've given you everything they have. Use this clove-infused water to prepare your coffee exactly as you normally would. French press, automatic drip, single-serve pod, whatever your method. The water should have a warm, slightly spicy aroma. Drink this slowly, ideally on an empty stomach, as the very first thing you consume each morning. Don't gulp it. Sip it over 10 to 15 minutes. 1 cup, once daily, in the morning. That's the protocol. Dr. Whitemore recommends doing this 6 days a week, giving your system 1 day off to reset. For rushed mornings, when 5 minutes feels impossible, Dr. Whitemore offers an alternative. Take 1 whole clove and crush it using a mortar and pestle, or simply press it firmly with the flat side of a kitchen knife. Drop it directly into your freshly brewed black coffee. Let it steep for 3 minutes, then drink. This shortcut delivers approximately 60 to 70% of the full protocol's effectiveness. Not ideal, but far better than nothing. Now, the 3 critical mistakes that completely sabotage the results. Most people make at least one. Mistake number 1. dropping a whole uncrushed clove into already brewed coffee. Clove is incredibly dense and hard. Without heat application or physical crushing, extraction is impossible. You'll smell a faint aroma and receive zero therapeutic benefit. Mistake number two: simmering the cloves for longer than 7 minutes, thinking more extraction equals better results. Eugenol is temperature sensitive. Extended boiling destroys it. Longer is not stronger, it's wasteful. Mistake number three: adding milk, cream, or any sweetener after preparation. This eliminates 50 to 70% of the polyphenol absorption your body could achieve. If you absolutely cannot drink it black, add a teaspoon of coconut oil or a dash of cinnamon instead of dairy products. One important safety note from Dr. Whitemore: who should not do this? If you're taking anticoagulant medications like warfarin or high dose aspirin, consult your physician before starting. Eugenol has mild blood thinning properties. If you're dealing with active stomach ulcers, severe acid reflux, or diagnosed gastritis, coffee itself may aggravate your condition. Clove won't override that. For everyone else, this represents one of the safest, most powerful interventions you can implement using items already sitting in your kitchen. Consider this for a moment. One clove costs less than 10 cents, 5 minutes of your morning, and your coffee, the exact same beverage you've been consuming for possibly decades, transforms from a simple daily habit into an active investment in your body's function. In 15 minutes, you get clarity without anxiety. In 1 week, inflammation decreases. In 1 month, your liver functions more efficiently. In 3 months, your entire system recalibrates. But here's the truth Dr. Whitemore always emphasizes: none of this creates any change whatsoever unless you actually implement it. You're not defective. Your morning routine is incomplete. Complete the routine. Shift the morning. Begin tomorrow. 3 cloves, 5 minutes, 1 cup. Everything else builds from there. And if you know anyone over 60 who drinks coffee every morning, a parent, a neighbor, a friend, share this video with them right now. It might be the single most valuable thing you do for them this week. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if it helped you. And drop a comment telling me if you're going to try Dr. Whitemore's protocol starting tomorrow. I read every single comment, and your stories inspire everything we create here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.